Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your pal, it's your buddy /687, and today I have a $300 gaming PC. This is the lowest of the low. You can't get any lower budget than this. Well, you could if you use a used PC, but this is all new parts. Everything is upgradable. You have an actually pretty decent upgrade path down the line with this build, and I think you're going to be really surprised with the performance that you can get at this budget. The links to all the parts are in the description as usual, the Amazon associate links. All the parts in this build are priced on Amazon, and it comes to a little bit less than $300, so you don't have to hop around site to site to pick up these deals. They're all on Amazon. $300 PC build. I'm not playing with you guys, it's a real legit $300 PC. It also features one of my favorite PC components right now, so I'm pretty excited about this one, and let me know what you guys think. But let's get into the parts, starting off with the CPU. For the CPU, I have the Ryzen 3 2200G. It is one of the new second generation Ryzen CPUs, the lowest tier, the lowest budget, and it clocks in at 3.5 gigahertz. Has 4 physical cores, no hyper-threading, and the big cherry on top, it has Vega 8 graphics, which, if you don't know what that means absolutely nothing to you, but pretty much what it means is that the integrated graphics on this CPU are the equivalent of a GT 1030 roundabout. And as with all integrated graphics, the clock speeds of your memory and the memory bandwidth is very important when you're trying to max out the capabilities of these Vega 8 graphics, and I've adjusted this build accordingly, like you'll see coming up. But when it comes down to it, 4 cores, that's plenty, especially in a budget build like this, and it's going to be upgradable down the line with the socket AM4 CPUs. You could pop in a Ryzen 5 down the line, bump it up to 6 cores if you want, if you feel the need. But as for gaming, 4 cores as of today is still plenty in a low budget build like this. And at only $96 on Amazon, it is pretty cheap. Under $100 for a CPU like this is a deal that we haven't seen in a long time. You're getting the graphical power of a GT 1030, which is an $80 GPU, combined with a very decent CPU, so this is one of my favorite deals of the year. Next up, for the RAM, it's going to be a repeat of my last build. It is the Asus Prime A320MC. It is a micro ATX motherboard, so it's a little guy, but size does not matter. This motherboard's plenty for what we need it for. It only has 2 RAM slots, so as far as upgrading the RAM down the line, it kind of limits you, and I adjusted for that accordingly. But at the end of the day, you're getting 4 SATA 6 gigabit per second ports, USB 3.0 headers, pretty much just the bare bones, but it's going to get the job done in this build. And in a $300 budget like this, you really can't afford to go with a top tier motherboard, so this one's gonna have to do. Plus, Asus is known for making a pretty decent motherboard, so you can rest easy knowing that this should last you for a good while. Disclaimer, if you check the PC part picker list of these parts, you're gonna see a little message that says like potential compatibility issue with the socket type, and there potentially not being a BIOS update in the motherboard that supports the second Ryzen CPU series. But you can rest assured, well, at least according to what I saw on Asus's website, that this motherboard should support those new BIOS for the second gen Ryzen chips right out of the box. Don't hold me to it though, I just remembered reading that on their website somewhere along the line. I can't 100% confirm it, but even if you do get the motherboard and you have to update the BIOS, it's not the end of the world. You don't necessarily have to get another Ryzen chip and put it in there to do it. There are a few external applications that if you have another computer, you can put those BIOS on there and transfer them over somehow. I'm not sure about the technicalities, but if you're crafty, I'm sure you can find a way. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure there's nothing to worry about with this motherboard. Next up, the RAM, and this one's pretty important. You want a high clock speed and a good amount of bandwidth in your memory when you're using integrated graphics, and that's what I shot for here. The amount of memory is a little bit low just because the stuff's so expensive, but I did what I could. I went with the Kingston Fury 4GB kit, 1 stick, 4 gigabytes RAM, clocked at 2,666 megahertz. It's a pretty high speed RAM. You only get 1 stick of it. It's only 4 gigabytes, but down the line, you can pop in a second one into that second RAM slot, and you're gonna have 2 sticks of some pretty quick RAM, and it's gonna benefit your GPU greatly. But that $300 budget is really restricting us, and it's really tough to fit 8 gigs of RAM in a budget like this, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Upgrade down the line, but for now 4 gigabytes is gonna have to do. It shouldn't hold you back too much in a lot of low tier games, CSGO, League of Legends, Rocket League. you know, even Fortnite. But when you start stepping it up into AAA titles, those 4 gigabytes are definitely going to hold you back big time. Google Chrome is taking more and more RAM as time goes, so if you have a lot of tabs open, it's not going to be too good. You might, you know, zonk out Google Chrome if you open too many tabs, but you gotta make do, man. Next up, storage. I went with the old standby, the Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB hard drive. Thing's only $44. It's 7200 RPM, so it's a decent speed. This thing is just the golden standard of cheap 1TB hard drives. It's reliable. Everybody uses these things. They have great reviews. I'm sure you've heard about it if you are familiar with PC building at all. It's a decent amount of storage. I would like 2 terabytes in pretty much any modern day build now, just because file sizes are getting larger and larger. But like I said, $300 build, you gotta make some sacrifices, and this is one that I had to make. Next up, the case, and this one's pretty cool. It's the Roswell FBM05. It is a micro ATX mini tower case, and you know, nowadays with PC parts putting out less and less heat, being more and more efficient, you don't need a giant case with massive amounts of airflow anymore. In a low-end build like this, you're fine with a little tiny mini tower. It shouldn't give you any problems. It's not like these parts on here are going to be generating a ton of heat. You don't even have a graphics card in the build, for Christ's sakes. Case is only $20. It looks pretty good, has those front panel USB 3.0 headers, so it's going to fit with our motherboard. You can plug those up. Get that quick file transfer, baby. Like anybody uses USB 3.0 anymore to transfer files. But regardless, it will be there. And for only $20 for a decent looking, good performing case, it's gonna treat you all right. As far as upgrade paths go, like down the line in this case, not too good. You only have 1 slot for your 3.5 inch hard drives, so you can't add any additional hard drives unless you want to jerry-rig them in there. But you know, it's $20. It's a sacrifice I had to make. Again, you could step it up to like a $40 case, like a nice mid-tower case, like a Corsair $200, something like that if you want. But this is going to do the job for the build, and so that's what we're going with. Lastly, the power supply. It's the EVGA 550 watt power supply. This thing is only $2 more than the 400 watt power supply, so I decided to go with this thing. It's $30, not 80 plus bronze, not 80 plus gold, not 80 plus platinum. Hell, I don't even think it's 80 plus certified at all, but it's 550 watts. That's plenty of power for a build like this. A build, like I said, that doesn't even have a GPU. It's gonna be plenty of power. It's gonna give you a nice upgrade path down the line. You can keep this thing in if you were to upgrade to a Ryzen 5, or if you were to even throw in upgraded GPU like a 1060, 1070. This power supply should be able to handle that. I mean, what's there to say? It's a power supply. It's made by EVGA. They make pretty decent power supplies. I've only heard good things about them, and this one's no exception. So that's gonna round out the build. We come to like $299.80. You take those extra 20 cents, you buy yourself a gumball, kid, because you earned it. Hell yeah. I'd say that about wraps it up. So there you go, your $299.80 PC. I'm gonna throw $300 in the title anyway, because it just sounds a lot catchier than $299.80, but hell, it is what it is. Clickbait, you can call it that if you want, man, but that's gonna be it. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. Check out my merchandise down in the description if you'd like to. I have some pretty cool designs in there. It's very cheap, only $14.99 a t-shirt, because I'm cheap as hell, and I know a lot of you guys are too, so yeah, I don't want to price my merchandise too high. If you're interested, check them out. I have a Patreon if you want to support that. You know, there's rewards and whatnot. I have a Discord server that you become an admin in. Join my Discord server, please. Links in the description as well. And like I mentioned, I have my Amazon affiliate links for all these parts, as well as general links to eBay, Amazon. You can use those links, buy anything on the site, and it gives me a kickback, and those are the main source of revenue for this channel. Helps me out a ton, helps this content keep going. I'm getting to the point where I'm actually starting to get busy in life, you know, coming to junior year of college, so any monetary support helps out a lot and helps incentivize me to keep making these things. So if you guys use those, I'd appreciate it. But that's about it. Like I said, like this video if you like the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all later. Have a good one. Peace.